So I'm saying, I see you looking at me and I'm looking at you. And we've been doing our thing, but I think we gotta take our time with it.
You the type of chick got to see me there. I ain't never felt nothing quite like this. If you need a big shout, I won't trip. I'ma take the time.
And let's just get right into it. So this is my labor and delivery story. I was due August 19th, so now it is August 24th. So around this time, my brother's wife, Megan, she's been texting me like every day, like anything new, and there wasn't anything new, and nothing new at all, except that day in particular, Troy had went to church around 6 o'clock. And when he went, I was having like false contractions. Like one time we were having some contractions and then I went to sleep and they went away. So, and it kind of felt something a little bit like that. So I figured, I'm like, okay, this is definitely a false alarm. This is nothing. I just decided to take it out of my mind that there was a baby coming because it was driving me nuts. Like every day Troy would be like, so what are you doing? I'm like, waiting for the baby, waiting for the baby, waiting for the baby. Like that was my line. That was my life for days. And it was crazy. I did everything. I walked. I did everything. Anyway, moving right along. So yeah, after that, so she was texting me. Oh, so Troy went to church at 6. So then I'm like, I'm gonna stay home because I feel a little contraction-y, but I didn't want to make anything a thing, you know. So he goes to church. So then Megan texts me, and I'm like. And my usual response would be nothing, but then today was a little bit different. I felt like right before she texted me, I downloaded an app like that counts your contractions. So I'm like, oh, it's funny that you text me. I'm kind of counting contractions right now, but they were very light. Like nothing that would be like, oh my God, I'm totally having a baby today. Didn't feel like that at all. It was more so like, oh, okay, this might be something. Let me just count it and see. You know, whatever, how far apart they are. So, I was like, oh yeah, I'm actually counting contractions, but I don't want to make it a thing. You know what I mean? I don't think it's happening. She'll go, well, okay, send me a picture. So I sent her a picture, and then she calls me, and she's like, hey, so they're kind of close together. So I'm like, what? I was like, I don't want to hear it. If the baby's not coming today, I don't want to hear nothing. Like I don't want to get excited at all. So I'm like, I was like, nah, nothing's happening. She's on the line. My sister Valerie calls me. So Valerie calls me. So then I pick up. So I'm like, hey girl. I'm like, she's like, what are you doing? I was like, I wasn't doing anything really, but Megan's talking about my contractions are too close together. I was like, I took a picture. She's like, why did she say that? I said I took a picture and I sent it to her. She's like, well, send it to me. So I'm like, all right. So I was like, I'll call you back. So I called everybody back. I said I'll call you back. I told her Valerie's on the line, blah, 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 whatever. So I sent her the picture. So then she called me right back and she's like, leave your door open. I'm coming over just in case something happens and you can't open the door. Look, I'm coming over right now. So I'm like, okay. So now like anxiety's starting to set in a little bit. So I'm like, oh my God, it might be happening today. Like today might be the day, you know? But I'm like, no, still no, because I don't want to get excited. And I wasn't prepared. I was prepared, but I wasn't ready. Like I wanted to get my hair done like kind of like this. And I just wasn't ready. So I'm like, no, it's definitely not the day. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So now so now Valerie comes over and they start to get stronger. In the middle of a contraction, I can't do it. So this is it.
This is it.
This is how it ends. And I'm like, Val, I think this is it. She's like, oh my God. She's like, well, where's your bag? Let's go. I'm ready to go. And I'm like, suddenly all the waiting and all this, and I'm like, I can't wait, and blah, blah, blah. And all the complaining was starting to feel so real. I'm like, all right, it's about to go down. Like, I was like, oh my God, no. The bag, let's go to the hospital. I'm like, Val, we have to call Troy. She's like, oh yeah. So I'm like, all right. So then I text him, like, come home right now, or something along those lines, like it's going down or whatever. So he says I'm on my way. So
What are the movies? You couldn't walk in like
Oh, so Valerie's there. She's like, okay, well, while we're waiting, let's do your brows. So I'm like, you know what? We're having way too much fun. It's definitely not happening today.
Oh my God.
It's just the little things. Just brow mascara, that's it.
Oh, and so then they're like, okay, you have to call you. Oh, okay. So prior to that, I went to the bathroom and I saw a wet spot. Now, if you're pregnant, you kind of know that accidents they're prone to happen. You know what I mean? Like, you can accidentally do a lot of stuff when you're pregnant, you know? So I'm like, so we have to call triage or whatever and tell them, they're like, so do you think your water broke? And I'm like, so this is my thinking. I'm not trying to get played. Like, yeah, my water broke, and then I go in the hospital and there's just pee. Not today. Not I. So I was like, I mean, I don't know, maybe. They were like, maybe. They're like, okay, well, why don't you come in? You know what I mean? And then whatever happens, and then we'll see. We'll take it from there. So boom, Troy and I pack a bag, and we head to 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, 10 o'clock at night, just around that time. So now in there, we're in triage, and I'm like, oh shoot. Like, I was like, what if we have a baby tonight? Like, what? You know what I mean? So, but then I'm still thinking, like, it's really not gonna happen. I don't know why, because I'm definitely 9 months pregnant, 9+ months pregnant. Like, I don't know why I didn't think today would be the day. I don't know. So boom, so now we are in triage. We go, they put us in a room. My sister comes upstairs. They said they're going to check my cervix and test whatever was there to see if it was amniotic fluid. So again, checking your cervix is not fun. It's not fun. I literally almost punched the doctor in her face.
Had a doctor's exam before?
No, I don't think so.
It's kind of like a pap smear.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah, you had. So I'm gonna get scoop down and put your leg. Just chill out, like a baby.
oh, I think I'm having a contraction.
You're having contraction.
I think so.
Okay, we can wait.
I mean, no, you don't have to. Go ahead.
I mean, maybe she should.
Relax.
It was not a good experience. It didn't feel nice, but eventually she kind of got it. Like, I was like in the middle of having contractions as well when she was like doing all that stuff. Anyway, so now they're like, you know what? While we're checking to see if it's amniotic fluid, we're going to have you take laps around the floor, so you know it could induce labor. So I'm like, all right, cool. So now we're taking laps.
Bear, run. No, you better not. You better not.
It's really the worst thing ever with the check your cervix.
Yeah.
Not fun at all.
Yeah. Very scary. No? Okay, we're done? No? Okay.
Suddenly I'm having real contractions. Like, now it's not hey, this might happen, oh, what if this happens? It's like, you're in labor. Like, you are in labor. But, you know, if you know me, I have a good sense of humor, so we're just kind of playing around, having fun, just being kids. I'm trying to get to one of these rooms. What? I'm trying to get to one of those rooms. I know. So, and then I saw like you walking by, and then they already had their babies, and I'm like, oh, I'm so jealous. I just want to be there already, like past the whole kit and caboodle.
You're jealous of who?
I'm jealous of everybody that already had their baby.
Yeah?
Yeah, they went through it all already.
How do you feel, Troy?
Ready to be a dad.
Yay!
I just wanted to already be there. I was really excited. But, you never think about how excited you are for pain until, like, it's time for birth. You're like, ooh, I can't wait to push my lungs out and all this. No, like it's crazy. But so now, I think they checked me like a couple times. It wasn't even just once. It was like they checked me a few times and like just to get a real good swab or whatever. And I wasn't even really that dilated. I think I was still like, I wasn't even really dilated. Like maybe like 2 centimeters. It wasn't much at all. So, and I was nervous that was happening, that I wasn't going to like progress. So anyway, we go back in triage. We're waiting. The contractions are getting good. Troy's being so good to me. Literally we had to like dance in the halls, like we had, because it was not a game.
That was the dad?
She was giving him a hard time. She had to dance. He had to dance like the whole day. Huh?
Or it's this way. Far down there, right?
Okay, let's find a bathroom. Oh, in a minute. Hold on. Or at least, or so I thought this was the worst of it. Oh, it gets better. Anyway, so now we get back in triage. They're like, hey, good news. That was definitely amniotic fluid. So we're going to get you a room. So I'm like, oh, this is really, really happening. I can't really remember exactly the timeline. I know the time was going by really, really fast. So before you know it was probably like 2 a.m. I don't really remember. Things were just flying. So now I'm like, they asked me if I wanted to have an epidural. And at first I was resistant because at first I was going to have a natural birth. So I thought it was going to be a natural birth. So yeah, so I thought it was going to be a natural birth. And I'm like, you know what, is there anything else I can have that's like not that, but something that can like, you know, take the edge off? So they said, yeah, we're going to give you something called Nubane. And it's going to go right in your arm, and then the first shot's in your arm, next shot's in your vein, and then that should ease some of the pain. And maybe you can like try to get some sleep. So I'm like, cool. So they give it to me. Things were going well. I didn't feel too much. Troy and I took a nap. I think Valerie went and like went home, took a shower, did whatever she had to do. And then around that time that she went to take a shower, I'm sitting there talking to Troy. We're hanging out, chit-chatting or whatever. And then suddenly I hear like an internal. It was like a little, I don't know if you can hear that. But, and then I was like, oh, my water just broke. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm like, granted, I already knew I was in labor, but now I'm really in labor. You know what I mean? And I was, anyway, so I'm like, all right, so my water broke. So I'm like, baby, my water broke. He's like, what do? I'm like, call a nurse. So then they call the nurse comes over and she said, okay. She said, okay, your water broke. That's awesome. She's like, let me check let me get everything under you. So she gets everything under me and she said, well, so your water was green. I said, green? She said, yeah, it was green. So that means the baby pooped inside you. Hooray. She said, it's not a big deal. She's like, but just so you know, if the baby comes out and she's not crying, then we might have to take her away. And if she comes out just crying, then you're good. So I'm like, all right. A little worried, but I was trying to think positive. I honestly tried to forget what she said because it was freaking me out. So now my contractions are, I slept a little bit through most of the contractions. I woke up from the contractions and now I'm like, yo, this is getting real. Check me and see how far I am. Mind you, I've watched so many labor and delivery stories that I'm like, all right, for me, I'm definitely going to wait till I'm like at least like 8 centimeters, at least like 7 centimeters. I'm like dying at this point. And I'm like, yo, where am I at right now? Check me. And what's up? She's like, okay, you're 4 centimeters. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, that's it? That's all? She's like, yep. But the good news is that you can have your epidural right now if you want it. Yeah, I want it. Like, at this point, give me the stuff. Like, give it to me right now. So they give it to me, which is, the epidural is really hard to do, but the girl that did it for me was amazing. Like, you know, you kind of have, it's hard because your belly's out to here and you kind of have to hunch over, but I honestly didn't, I felt a little tiny poke and that was it. Now, I feel like for me personally, it takes me a while, like for drugs to kick in, you know what I mean? Like, even like when I had my wisdom tooth taken out, that's a story in itself. But I felt like I felt everything, you know what I mean? So, and here when I got my epidural, I'm like, hey, am I supposed to be able to feel like my legs? Like, I felt like I didn't have full range of motion in my legs, but I definitely had a lot of feeling. I feel like most women, like, were like, yeah, I was numb from the hips down, and I was kind of like, I can still feel some shit. I can still. So she was like, no, it's supposed to be like that so you know when to push. I'm like, all right, makes sense. You know what I mean? So now, let's see, where are we now? Okay, so now we are pretty numb. Things are moving along. Pretty well. They checked me a few more times and they were like, yep, sure, you know, things are moving along, whatever. Literally the next thing I remember is having lots and lots of pain. I thought the first contractions that I was talking about a few minutes ago when I got in triage, I thought those were bad. No, these were the big boy contractions. These are the ones, and so I knew at this point, like late at this point, that my epidural had worn off because I don't think I'm supposed to be feeling it like this. It was intense. It was very, very, very intense, and they were coming very close together. So you know how some people, and then for the epidural, you know, when you have the little thing, most people have the little push button that you could like have more, and like you can do it at bay, like whenever you wanted to. Yeah, I didn't have that. Mine was broken, so I had to call the nurse whenever she was available, because you know there was a lot of kids being born that day, you know. So it's like, oh yeah, we'll do it, and like whenever she was around, so I didn't get to like just have it. So yeah, needless to say, I don't feel like, it's like I probably shouldn't even gotten an epidural. Now, yeah, the next thing you know, they check me again, and it is time to push. I've never gotten anything I've wanted so fast in my life. Another thing, birth takes a lot out of you. I mean, I've never been so dry mouthed, so everything in me was dry. Like, it literally sucked the life out of me. It was a lot. So now they're like, all right, it's like the nurse, there's a few people in the room, nothing crazy. They're like, hey, let's do a practice push. I'm like, oh, before that, I'm like, I feel like I have to poop. But side note, before I left my house, I did poop. Because, and I knew that I wasn't going to eat again after that, because I'm not going to poop in front of my man. I'm just not going to do it. So I'm like, I'm like, this can't be poop, because I already pooped and I didn't eat. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I feel like I gotta poop. And she's like, that's probably the baby, honey. You want to give a practice push? And I'm like, okay, like, whatever, look, I'm just letting you know, I might poop. You know what I mean? They're like, all right, let's just see what happens. So now, I give a push. Everyone's face is like, including my sister. So I'm like, yo, what's good? Like, what's going on? They're like, so we have to get the doctor right now, stop pushing. So now, all I see is everyone like breaking down the bed. It's like going down. I'm like, yo, suddenly you're like, it's not even that you want to push, but it's like there's so much pressure that you're like, yo, I think I have to push it. It's not even like I have to. It's doing it on its own. You know what I mean? So they're like, nah, you gotta wait. So now, luckily for me, the doctor that had been watching me my entire pregnancy was actually in the building. I was so happy to see her that I was literally in tears, just because when you're doing something, when you want someone that knows you know what I mean, and someone that you can trust. So it just felt overwhelming that she was actually got to be there and see my whole pregnancy through. So I actually really did want her to get in the room but I really had to push at the same time. Now, so now, oh yeah, like I said, I don't think at that point in time, I've never got anything I wanted so fast. It was like suddenly I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm hot. And then it was like, fans. And then it was like, I'm thirsty. And then it was like, water. Like, so quick. But, yeah, so that happened. Okay, so yeah. So now it's time to push in about, and another thing. While I'm pushing, I got her out in probably like 7 pushes. But while I'm pushing, I gave up. Straight up. Like, just like, pushing, and I'm like, you guys, it's not gonna happen. Like, it's just not happening. And you literally, I have a clip of that part too, and you literally hear my doctor like, what are you talking about? Like, yo, the heads are right there. It's happening right now. But no, so then so boom, all like, and then I heard like, okay, so this part, like, this one's the one, like the head's about to come out. So I'm like, holy crap. So I'm like, alright, just get through it. Get through the ring of fire. Just get through it, and then so you can be done and you can hold her. So I'm like, alright. So then I think I felt the head come out. I feel the head come out, and they're like, you just got one. Like, this is the last one. Like, you got this. My whole team, my team and I. You know what I mean? We were. Everyone being supported. Oh, so then you hear my sister. We speak French. We're from Canada, so we're You hear my sister like, allez, Farah, allez. And there, I don't know what, I think she must have thought we were speaking Spanish, but she's like, yeah, dale. Like, push, slid right out, stuff everywhere. And then I had my baby in my arms.
I'm gonna put some dry stuff on her. Oh. Yes, we can. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Congratulations. Wow, Farah. You're pretty amazing.
What was that, like 7 pushes? What are we talking about?
I'm sorry. That was my fault.
Thank you.
Let's go to the chair and sit with her.
Oh, there you are, Mama.
It's okay, boo. It's okay. It's over. It's over.
Her eyes just open that wide.
It was amazing. Like, it's like after it happens, you almost feel like I can fight anybody. It changed my life, clearly, but it was the craziest experience ever. Yeah, it's like I might as well have not even gotten an epidural because I felt every single thing. But other than that, it was awesome. Then before you know it, they are stitching you up and rolling you out. It's like, when we saw her, she looked amazing. She looked so beautiful, like right out the womb. And then we thought it was like a little raised gum. So we're like, oh, I was like, is that a tooth? But they're like, nah, it's just a little gum, like it's probably gonna go away, whatever. Turns out it was a little tooth.
Hi, beautiful.
I'm so sorry. I cannot believe I did that.
Hi.
I don't know what I was thinking, to be honest.
Come here, sweetie. Let's feel your little mouthy poo. I don't think that's a fetal tooth. I think that's just a little bit of extra gum tissue.
Oh,
Yeah.
You are supposed to just do nothing.
okay.
Nancy, are you talking about her little thing right here on her gum?
Yeah.
That's her, yeah. Doesn't feel like a fetal tooth.
I didn't feel it.
You feel it. It's very soft, like gum tissue.
Okay. That will go away.
Yes, it will. But that's what you were calling her, Pearl?
It came there probably like a week later when we got home. It was like a little white cast, and it was like, oh, that's a tooth. Like, so it's awesome. Like, it was crazy. By the time I got out there, and what's even more fun is that I didn't know what time it was, like, or what time anything was happening. So I'm like, oh my God, what time is it? And then my doctor was like, it's 12:30. Like, you delivered at 12:31. I was like, it's lunchtime. She was like, yeah. She was like, girl, I was just about to clock out. Like, so you had her right on time, and I was like, oh, that's perfect. And so boom, now we're done. We got the baby wrapped up, and then it was like. It was so funny because obviously I'm with and it happened just how I wanted it to. Like, I wanted my sister and my boyfriend there, and it happened just like that. It was amazing, it really was. But then by the time, so I'm still like kind of drugged up. So they rolled me out, and then I see like my brother, my mom, his wife, and then we're just all together. But it's exactly what I wanted. Like, it was just like, I was like, oh my God, how did you guys know I was here?
One at a time.
Oh my God. Congratulations.
Hi, Lima.
You can come see the baby quick.
She's right there.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go.
Hold on.
I can't wait to tell you all about it.
All right. And there's an alarm. So we're gonna kind of go quickly. All right, little pump.
I can't believe that.
I don't even know what
We did it.
Yep.
this is. Crazy experience. You watched it?
I like your lip.
Oh, yeah? She's sleeping?
Ooh.
You got a little water on her?
And then she needed it. Just hiccups. She snores. A little bit. Like,
Mom put on her glasses. She
Yeah.
wants to see.
Oh, I can see the bit.
Uncle Tommy. Come down a little.
So yeah, and then now, now we have her. She's awesome. She turned 4 months on Christmas, and all right, guys. So that is my labor and delivery story. Ooh, excuse me. I love these stories. I just think like labor is such a beautiful thing, and like delivery and like motherhood is awesome. So I hope you liked the video. Rate, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you guys again. Toodles.
So, here's Mom.
My mother.
Yeah. Little baby Mackenzie.
My mother.
Going home.
That lady's supposed to be right there.